Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Monday's edition of NMH at 1. My name is Priska Agnolo, and I thank you so much for joining us. So let us first have a look at the incoming news this morning. Namibian Employers Federation Secretary General Dan Strauss has said that the 20 Namibian dollar per hour as minimum wage by some unions is not ideal in the current economic situation, as some businesses might be forced to close down. According to NAMPA, Strauss made the remarks at a public hearing to discuss the introduction of the national minimum wage organized by the Wages Commission under the Labour Ministry. And now for our latest COVID-19 data for Namibia. New cases of COVID-19 in Namibia continue to show a downward trend. Slightly less tests are also being processed by laboratories. Since March last year, more than 660,000 individual tests have been done, less than 10,000 of these during the 7 days up to Friday. This translates to an average of less than 1,400 tests per day. During the last 7-day cycle, 680 new cases were confirmed, which means that Namibia is on average now reporting less than 100 cases per day. The recovery rate remains at 96%. Over the same 7-day cycle, 23 additional deaths were ascribed to COVID-19 or related complications. This weekend, health authorities expressed concerns about the slow turnout for first-time vaccinations. By Friday, just more than 230,000 people received a first dose of vaccine, representing 9% of Namibia's population. More than 60% of these individuals, numbering 140,000 people, have been fully vaccinated. By Friday, only 1,001 people were still housed in government-approved quarantine facilities. Over the last 7 days, 636 individuals entered quarantine, while 1,308 people were discharged from these facilities. Up next, we bring you video news clips from around the country. The Namibia Tourism Board launched their domestic tourism campaign in Swakopmund last week, with Mayor Louisa Kativa wholeheartedly welcoming this initiative. Irene Marie van der Valt was there.
The tourism. Therefore, this launch is an opportunity to encourage all Namibians to get out and explore this unique, beautiful and safe country of our, a part of the reviving strategy. Honorable Minister, ladies and gentlemen, tourism is celebrated in September, and it's also the month which we celebrate our heritage. Heritage is central to the development of the most important sector of our economy. Domestic tourism, which is crucial to the long-term growth and sustainable of Namibia tourism industry, will certainly be an important focus area of the Council. We are committed to assure that the wonder we boast and unique heritage we have been adored with shared by overgrowing number of Namibians. As part of the celebration, Scientific Society Swakopmund has also launched a competition of heritage to embrace the Namibian culture. Ladies and gentlemen, Swakopmund is not only a tourism destination, but also hosts international event, and the Dome was recently recognized by the Namibia Sport Commission as a highly performance center, which means that we can also add sport tourism to our long list of attractions.
APP Secretary General Vincent Kanyetu, at a press conference in Rundu, spoke about the party's disappointment at how Chinese nationals doing business in the country treat their workers. This goes hand in hand with the lack of action by the Labour Ministry to deal with those exploiting their workers. Kenya Kambowe reports.
To start with, most of you, if not all of us, have seen exactly what has happened in Vendu about our brothers, the AR that confronted the Chinese business person on their site there, about how they are treating our brothers and sisters. Not only that, we have Chinese in most of the regions of Namibia that are mistreating our people, paying them very far less from what they were supposed to earn, comparing to the work that they are doing. Also in Rundu, in particular, you have Chinese businessmen, including the company that is upgrading the Trans-Zambezi Highway now. Our people are suffering. We are suffering under the watchful eyes of the Minister of Labour, Utoni Nuyoma, who's very upset most of the time on performing his own duty. We are those calling upon the government of the Republic of Namibia that they have to protect the citizens of Namibia from Chinese and all others. If they are unable, they must come forward and tell us, so that people must know how to deal with Chinese. We are not scaring investors.
Acting Principal of Ochwarongo-based Orotoveni Primary School, Sheila Uwaka, shares with Esther Kamati a message for the school community, urging teachers to remain steadfast for the benefit of the Namibian child.
Good afternoon, dear viewers. This is Ms. Uwaka, Acting Principal of Orotoveni Primary School. We have all been affected by this pandemic, directly or indirectly, and the school was not spared. Thus, it is against this background that I want to urge all parents, teachers, and learners to please adhere to the COVID regulations to make sure that we keep our social distancing. As for the school, we know that we need intensive therapy, psychosocial support, and with time, as they say, time heals all wounds, we might bounce back. We as teachers are jack of all trades. We are nurses, we are counselors, so even this virus cannot beat us. And I know as a team, we will make it. I'm urging all the stakeholders to come on board, give the necessary support to all our teachers so that we can do our duty to the best of our ability to ensure effective teaching and learning takes place. So my message is, let's all work together. Let's make sure at the end of the day, the Namibian child benefits. Thank you.
on the front pages of today's newspapers. The Namibian Sun reports that the police remain the biggest human rights offenders countrywide, with a total of 1,719 cases reported to the Ombudsman's office between 2019 and 2020. The Republican reports that only one of the 11 municipalities, institutions and settlements that treat sewage in the Upper Sokop River Basin area currently has a valid permit for it, although 4 have pending applications. In addition, no one adheres to the necessary standards that treated effluent must meet. In the Allgemeine Zeitung, it is reported that while Namibian activists and environmental experts often feel powerless in their fight against Recon Africa, more and more agreements are emerging that the exploration should not take place in the Kavango region. The International Union for Conservation of Nature has now recognized a corresponding motion against the oil exploration. The Namibian reports that Anti-Corruption Commission Director General Paulus Noah says the pursuit of a mysterious fortune of $1 billion Namibian dollars in a Kazakhstan bank account allegedly linked to the fish rot corruption cases has run cold. The New Era reports that over a year since a devastating fire wreaked havoc at Walvis Bay, displacing hundreds of residents, the erstwhile victims finally have a place they can call home. And on the inside of our country's newspapers, you'll be able to read up on the following. MarketWatch reports that Oryx Properties reported a profit before taxation of nearly 17.6 million Namibian dollars for the year ended the 30th of June 2021, a dramatic turnaround from the 151.5 million Namibian dollars in its 2020 book year. On page 3 of the Namibian Sun, it is reported that NAM rights leader Phil Yanangolo says he will ignore the Independent Patriots for Change demand for an apology for comments he made about the party in relation to audio circulating in which the author wishes death on President Hage Geingob. The Republican reports that the Commerce Region's Task Force for Suicide Prevention was launched in Windhoek on Friday with the aim of reducing the incidence of suicide in the region to 0. Statistics from the police and the health ministry indicate that more than one person takes their own life daily in Namibia, and that the majority of suicide attempts are recorded in Commerce. The Allgemeine Zeitung reported that Agribank in its annual report looked back on its performance in the past financial year. The bank has made loans totaling 217 million Namibian dollars to 1,230 customers, including 13 million Namibian dollars to unsecured community farmers. The Namibian reports that SWAPO National Assembly member Toby Upindi can expect to hear in 3 weeks' time if his appeal against being convicted on a charge under the Anti-Corruption Act has been successful. In the New Era, it is reported that a Keetmanshoop resident who lives at the town's dump site said it is quite disheartening that fast food outlets and grocery shop owners prefer to sell expired products to pig farmers instead of giving it to the poor and hungry in the town. The Sport Wrap unpacks some of the weekend's top results with Namibia's own Christine Boma leading the pack. We've reached the end of Monday's show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you to enjoy your day further ahead. Do stay tuned for a quick snapshot of the weather as well, and goodbye.
Windhoek Express, the capital's online community newspaper, hosts its first garage market at the end of the month and any small or medium enterprise is welcome to come and sell their beautiful craft then, while at the same time supporting Dagbreek School. There will also be a variety of previously loved cars on sale. Don't delay. Book your spot today.